Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's defense versus Kentucky's offense. In this game, we're going to see Florida put its third straight quality performance on film, and we're going to take a look at how Florida was able to finally stop Kentucky's counter run game, something that plagued them last year and led to an outright disaster of a film review. As always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, check out our weekly podcast, and drop us a dono where you can support our efforts to bring you more of this type of content all year long. Without further ado, let's take a look at how Billy Napier got his first win over Mark Stoops and how Coach Ham and Ron Roberts engineered Florida's defense to stop Kentucky's rather, let's call it middling at best offense in this one.
Kentucky's first drive of the game, 2nd down and 8 coming into this game. Kentucky primarily a running team, a quality success rate, 10th on rushing plays with regards to success rate in the country. However, they're a bit boom or bust. They do get hit at the line 47% of the time, and they allow a stuff rate of 22%. So if they're hitting, they can hit, but a lot of their plays don't go for much of anything. Now, entering into this game on the podcast, we talked a lot about, obviously, Kentucky's success versus Florida running counters, especially last year where they countered Florida to death. On the very second play of the game, Kentucky is going to go right back to that well with a counter here, and they are going to hit pay dirt. They're going to get Florida surprised a bit with this play call. Florida's got too high here. We're expecting, I would say, more of a pass in this look, or certainly not what they're about to run here. They're going to run a power run at us right off the edge. We have Gates, an undersized slot defender who needs to take on this pulling guard, and then Shamar here coming into the hole in the C gap. So right away, Gates is going to attempt to take this block on, and he's not going to win, right? He's not going to really win that battle probably ever. It's going to take a lot of grown man strength to win that battle versus the guard. He's not going to win, so now we're stood up. That's a win there for Kentucky. And then Shamar is going to try to quickly end the play by knifing in here because he's seen this counter movie a lot. We're already sealed off totally here, and this is going to be the nightmare scenario for Florida. Only saving grace being that we've got, a bunch of guys back here, 2 safeties who have not read this play fast enough yet, and then a dropping corner here in Jason Marshall. So slow to read here from Florida's back end. We're going to get Marshall coming downhill. A running back now has already got a first down. He's going to split the difference. Nice work here by Marshall not to allow him to bounce this outside, though, for something more. This play is going to end for an explosive run play for Kentucky. So right out of the gate, their second running play is a counter play, the first one that Florida's defense sees, and Florida gets creased on it. So I'm sure they practiced that all week long, but Florida does get caught, I think, in maybe a not the right look there, and they get punished from Kentucky. Let's see what happens as this game goes on with Kentucky's ability to run this counter play. 3rd and 8 is exactly where you want this Kentucky offense, struggling to pass with regards to success rate. Not a good team through the air, and often their own worst enemy, which we're going to see in this particular game. Florida going to show a simulated pressure here. Sim pressure, trying to confuse Kentucky's front. They're only going to bring 4. They're going to bring 2 in the A-gap, something we saw Austin Armstrong love to do last year. And obviously him and Coach Roberts, as we know from this previous week, no one knows who's calling the plays because Billy won't tell us. We can presume and guess each week. I'll keep saying it. But as the media asked Billy last Wednesday, Billy, of course, said, we have a staff of people that do things. So I can't tell you who's calling what. But I can tell you that on this particular play, Florida's going to bring 2 in the A-gap. They're not bringing pressure. They're just bringing 4. And that's going to be helpful that we get this pressure here from Shamar James, who takes an inside step. The running back then steps here, allowing Shamar James to beat the center and come free. Because if he doesn't, they are going to have this whip out here for a first down, which is what Vandegrift is looking at. Cersei's going to overdrop to the middle right there, not locate where that route is going. That's one of the benefits, especially versus teams that run simulated pressures and they drop non-traditional rushers into windows. An easy way to beat them is don't just go to the initial stem of your route. Snap it off right here. So good design here to pick up the first down on 3rd down and 8, but because Shamar right here is going to get there, he's going to cause Brock to open up some, throw a little bit off platform, and this ball is going to be yoinked, right? That's not a good ball. Off target right there, goes off the hands of the receiver, falls harmlessly to the ground, and Florida gets off the field on 3rd down and 8 against a Kentucky team that entered the game slightly above average 3rd down percentage, but they are now 0 for 1 in the swamp. On this drive, Florida has relative success versus 2 counters. So let's say that they're 2 for 3 now versus the counters, setting up a 3rd and 7. as the crowd has just had success getting a false start against Kentucky. Florida again, the sim pressure look here, trying to confuse the front of Kentucky and also confuse the quarterback there, Brock Vandegraff. Let's see if this confusion pays off for the Gators or not. Pay attention here to Gums, who's going to drop back into the window and do a very nice job of deflecting this pass. First and foremost, look at the technique here from Gums. When you're running simulated pressures, you want to make sure that you're going to take a step in if you're the edge. You want to engage the tackles, make sure they think they have to block you to create space for your four-man rush, right? They're not sure where you're coming from. If you just back out, they can turn their head here and begin to help each other blocking just four. You want to engage them for a second and allow for a better chance of your fellow lineman to get in there. And right here, engage. There's your step forward, step forward, step forward. And then we're going to finish the play out. Get back, ID the receiver. This is where you're dropping into. ID the receiver. Try to get hands on here and reroute. He kind of misses that. But get into this window, drop, read the eyes of the quarterback, and set yourself up right into this window here. Now again, Kentucky being their own worst enemy. Vandegraff makes the wrong decision here. He's got basically a double in concept here, and he needs to be taking this one as Shamar's bailing out. The dropper's not going towards him. This is the target he should be hitting. He doesn't. He goes here. He's got a nice clean pocket, and for Florida, that is exactly where they want him to go. Now, this is one reason why you run simulated pressures, is the quarterback has to take the ball and determine if you're pressuring him or not. And then if you're not, he's got to read where your dropper went in a very quick amount of time. A lot of stuff's going on, and if you make the wrong decision, which he does here, he pulls the trigger. He's lucky it's not a pick. Gums is there, but the ball's high enough and outside enough that it's not going to wind up being a pick. It is going to wind up being a really nice play there from George Gums. A guy who's put a lot of good stuff on film versus opponents that Florida is better than, has struggled a bit versus more of the premier talent teams, but he's consistently got a high motor, finds himself in the right place there, and gets himself a nice pass deflection and another stop for Florida's defense. So now Kentucky 0-2 on third down. All right, first down and 10. Kentucky going to try their hand with another counter. It's not going to be a guard tackle counter this time, but they're going to come in right here, the guard tight end or H-back counter, and it's going to pay dividends another time. Again, edge defender here, Cersei. You need to destroy and strike this block. Do all you can to just spill this whole hole right in here, ruin this so the running back gets stuck in here and then has to kick this out, hopefully slowing it enough for a conflict defender to come down and help and your linebackers to scrape over. Cersei's going to enter in. That's going to be a pretty not what you want to see on film if you're Cersei. You don't want to see yourself getting blown back with your head just getting launched out of the hole here and then turned around. Not good. And now, this is why counters are really good plays, right? Is the play is designed to come in this area here. It's a good read by Shamar. He's seen the counter enough times to know this is the designed hole, but look at what Kentucky has going on here. It's an easy bounce out. It's going to give you a two-way go on a power run, even if you're not in your intended gap, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We're off to the races. Got a great gap. Going to barely get touched there, and thankfully we've got a touchdown-saving tackle from Devin Moore, where that's going to be 6 and a replay of what Florida saw last year. Florida narrowly escapes another counter there. Let's call that 2 for 4, but both counters have hit for explosives. Florida not exactly passing the test they want to pass just yet early in this game versus Kentucky's gap counter scheme. 2nd and 7 now for Kentucky. Jason Marshall here is going to be the culprit on this one. He's put a bunch of excellent stuff on film this season. Kentucky's going to run a trick play here, and this is just how it goes. Now, if you're Jason Marshall, you're not in the run fit by design, so you don't need to come down and help. That's going to be Bridges in this particular play. You should be more chill on this. I think if you're looking at your corner, in some ways it's nice that your corner wants to come in and be more aggressive versus the run. I'm going to pause it right there. Right now, Marshall sees it's a run, right? So he's aware right now, once he has the ball here, that this is a run. Running back has the ball. He's dropping. Okay, it's a run. He's going to read this. I'm going to step up and help, right? He doesn't need to help. That's Bridges' job. Again, Bridges right now is sitting on any in-breaking route, which is where he's at, and he's covering the run. Now up top, we see a better job here of what's happening. Gates is sitting on his in-breaking route and over the top here. And here, right here, he is looking in the backfield, but he's not going to step in and try to run help here. He's not in the run fit. He's not going to try to help. So he stays on top of his route, but Marshall is already committed down into this route, so much so that there is no way that he can now recover to do his job, which is to cover the deep third over here. And as always, I can't know for sure what his role is, so if I'm wrong, Jason Marshall, write to me and let me know what exactly the scenario was. But regardless, Florida does bust this. There's no plan accordingly where any vertical runner should just be going free here. Imagine there is no flea flicker. Florida obviously has a plan to cover any vertical route here, and again, most likely it's going to be right there. So, play rolls, we get fooled. Good trick play by Kentucky. Nice quick execution of this. And then Brock Vandegrift with a quick throw and a very good ball because Castell is trying to recover enough to get here. If he shorts that ball, Castell might get there. Of course, he's nowhere near that ball. That's an easy touchdown there for Kentucky. So Kentucky catches Florida by surprise on a flea flicker. They get Jason Marshall right there stepping into run fit. As always, the best way to defend against those trick plays is to simply do your job. If you're not in the run fit, don't be in the run fit, right? Stay on top, cover the receiver if he's running a route. Don't come into run fit yet until you know for sure it's a run. But if you've wondered in the past why flea flickers work, that is why they work, right? If you have an aggressive defense trying to come in and stop the run versus a team that runs the ball very well and is largely their feature thing, then you might get defenders trying to come in and help out, right? And you take advantage of their desire to kind of work as 11, making a tackle on a ball carrier, and you get a nice hit there for a touchdown. So Florida's going to theoretically be down 7-6, except Kentucky is going to do them a favor and makes the extra point. So we're going to be tied up at 6-6 after this flea flicker touchdown, heading into the middle of the second quarter. 3rd and 1 now on Kentucky's 4th possession. This is what really hurt Florida versus Tennessee. Is Tennessee converted nearly all of their 3rd and 4th and short. In this game, it will largely be different, thanks to the excellent work here of the SEC ESPN network crew, if I can spit that out correctly. It's late at night here as I'm filming this. Then we would have seen the beginning of this play. But thankfully, it doesn't really matter. What's going to matter here is that you've got a win here from Cam Jackson, who you can kind of barely see as getting buried, and then a win here from Big Dez. This might not look like a win, but that's a win, right? He's getting into the gap that Vandegrift wants to get into right there. And then Gums, and I like that Gums does this, he's going to wisely come across the outside here and then attempt to just grab. This kind of seems like it doesn't matter because it probably doesn't if you don't have the work there by Big Dez and Cam Jackson. But you know what? Why not? Let's try to remove all doubt here and just grab him. Go ahead and pull him back. That's right. He's down. He's down. He didn't make it. You can see he's right here. That's no good. Don't go anywhere on 3rd down and 1. And Florida is going to get the stop, though. He's going to be short. A big stop there from the Gators on 3rd down and 1 in a 6-6 game. And something they were unable to do in Knoxville, they're able to do here early on in this game, and Kentucky will punt. 3rd down and 5, and Kentucky's going to be their own worst enemy again. They're going to have a wide open drag route right here for a 1st down, and Vandegrift is just going to simply miss this. Florida in a sim pressure yet again. They're not going to bring pressure. Just four on the rush right here. Going to drop back. Kentucky with a nice design here. They're going to send 2 past the 1st down marker and 1 on the drag. If you know that you're playing a team that's frequently dropping either non-traditional or even in this case traditional defenders here in our 2 linebackers, that it's very hard for them to pick up a drag in this case if they have 2 receivers dropping into their area. They have to get from here to here, and you're basically sending 3 into that window. And you can see that he's going to locate this crosser and think, okay, I've got to let this go. Shamar's just rerouted that. He's looking at the quarterback. By the time he picks up this route here, he should be in to this window, which is exactly what happens. So this is a nice design by Kentucky. It's a good play call. It should lead to an easy 1st down pickup by them. And Florida is not only going to dodge a bullet, they're going to get a big benefit here because this is just a really poor pass despite having a completely clean pocket here. I mean, that is a disaster class pass right there. Woof, boy, that is really bad. That's taking an easy 1st down with some yak and turning it into almost a 1st down here, where I bet 6 wishes today he didn't touch that ball because it would have been incomplete. And then Bridges wisely comes and scoops this ball up for an interception. Now look, good defenses create some of their own opportunities because they're putting teams in 3rd down and 5, 7, 8, right? That's largely what happens. It's not 3rd and 2 or 3, but you also get pretty lucky when you're giving up a wide open drag route and it happens to hit off a guy's hands and another guy's hand and you get a pick. But hey, you know what? For Florida, we deserve some good things to happen on defense. It's been a minute. We're going to take that. But again, Kentucky, this is largely what they've done. So if you're scouting Kentucky, you can feel pretty good that their offense is going to give you opportunities to make plays against them if you can stop their running game. That is why Florida's having success here early on, is they are for the most part doing that. And Florida's going to get a third down stop and an INT. And Florida's going this way, up 13-6. After the TJ Lagway INT, Kentucky now set up 3rd and 2 in the red zone here. They can get a first down on the 1 yard line. So they're kind of in a great situation here, at least mathematically, with expected EV to score a touchdown as a running team in the red zone. But Florida has other ideas. And again, if you're Kentucky, what are you going to run? That's right, you're going to run a counter. Here comes the guard. Here comes your tight end or your H-back. Except Pyburn is not an undersized slot defender. He could be an undersized end. That's fair. But in this case here, he also plays above his punching weight, right? He's a physical dude, and this is how you help to stop the train. You charge at said pulling train, and you blow this thing up. Boom, right there. Get a win. Look at this. Get a win, get a stick, turn this guy around, right? That's a check for Pyburn. Rewind one more time. Look at Pyburn putting this stuff on film. Recognize the play. Know what you're doing. Don't say, hey, I'm going to go tackle the running back. Big temptation here, by the way. If you're playing end, you're unblocked, you think, I'm going to block this guy. If you do that, you're getting ear-holed out of the hole, right? So good recognition by him across the line of scrimmage. Strike this thing, bam, blow that up. Now we've got to get another one in here, and then we've got a one-on-one tackling opportunity, right? There it is. Pyburn does such a good job. He allows Jaden Robinson to come in. He's put really good stuff on film for Florida. One-on-one versus the running back as Castell gets sealed out here by the H-back, a matchup you love if you're Kentucky. That's going to be a win for you, and you can see that's definitely going to be a win for Kentucky. So Pyburn single-handedly allows this play to be made by Robinson, who now is here, right? So Pyburn paves the way for Jaden, who's an excellent tackler, and Robinson right here is going to put him to the ground, only that's a pretty cold move to throw him off. Again, he's a really good tackler, right? He's wrapping you up here. You're going down. But because Jaden was there so quick, now we've got Big Dez motoring down. Here's the first down line. He's thinking, I got a touchdown. There's no way a guy that weighs 440 pounds is going to get me. 4 bills plus can't get me in that kind of time. But Big Dez says, I've got you. And there's no way you're going to stand up when I've got you, right? Because that's 400 plus pounds of grown man falling on top of you right there. And here we go. Not going to get it. Setting up a 4th and short. That is how you stop a counter play right there. And again, could have been a TFL, right? He's right there. It's a good tackling attempt. Guy made a great play. But Florida, there for the challenge on that 3rd and 2. Different in the game against Tennessee. And now a 4th down and short forthcoming. All right, 4th and 1. Everyone in the world knows that Kentucky is most likely going to want to win with some power football, right? They bullied Florida in the previous 2 years. They've won the line of scrimmage versus Napier and the boys. And they want to do it again. Even though so far this game they have not been able to do that, they are not going to run any kind of trickeration here. They're just going to come straight downhill and make you stop them, right? That's going to be the plan. Florida right here, over top and a bare front, going to make sure you are not going to have this A-gap here. You're not going to have the quarterback sneak. Do something else. We've already stopped you once in the quarterback sneak. Let's not try that again. And you are going to get a ginormous win here from Cam Jackson. This play is going to be made by Cam Jackson. If you want to stop teams on 4th and short, you have to have your tackles and your ends get wins like this one. Watch Cam Jackson win right here, knife in to the A-gap. He's going to wind up driving his blocker into the gap. Watch this work right here. He's going to close this up, get his body in there, and then Florida's going to win in here as well. Big Dez is going to get blown out of this hole, but we're going to win right here as well. And then we're going to have nowhere to go, right? Look at the bodies falling in here. Look at Cam throwing himself in this gap here. There's no way the running back can go here or anywhere. And that's why he chooses to jump, because he knows he's got no place to go. Here's the line of scrimmage. Here's where the bodies are. Florida has won in all the gaps that Kentucky wants to attack. You love to see it. And then they've got heads right here, helmets up that you can see above the fray to engage a running back who's jumping. This is textbook stuff from the Gators in short yardage situations. And then, look, here comes Gums again, because he's seen this movie before. Let me get in here and see if I can't pull this guy backwards. Now, for Florida's sake, they're going to blow it dead right now. And if they don't blow it dead and they wait just a little bit longer, and let this play stall, he's gonna get kind of crowd surfed across the first down line. Right there he goes. That's not going to happen. The play's already blown dead by the time he winds up on this side of it. And that's a subjective thing by the official. They easily could have chosen not to do that, and that would have been a first down. They chose to do it. I think they were right to do it. I think momentum had totally stalled. And then there you go. So Florida gets another stop on 4th down and short. Almost the complete reverse of what we saw in Knoxville is happening in Gainesville. And Florida gets a crucial stop after the Lagway interception. All right, Kentucky now down 20-6. Florida taking control of this game. Berrien Brown, an explosive receiver for Kentucky, is going to want this moment back as Vandegrift is going to deliver a quality ball right here. Off your screen the whole time, running this deep dig or the square in. Going to put the ball right in his face, hit him in a really bad place, also known as the hands. Right there. Hits him right in the hands, and the stickum is just not on the gloves. Use a John Madden phrase. No stickum on those gloves. Nope. Just like a hot knife through butter. Right through the wickets. And that, again, if you're Kentucky, oh man, you really shot yourself not only in the foot, like you've shot your legs off in this game. And then there it goes, right? I mean, he's thinking with his speed, he's thinking, I might score. And he might not be wrong. And instead, now what's happening is Devin Moore might score because Florida's been on the other end of these, which is great. Look, those can fall harmlessly to the ground. We're on the other end, and then we're off and riding. Devin Moore is showing some great skills here with the ball in his hands, taking it all the way down to inside the 1 yard line there. And so Florida avoids a chunk play where Kentucky's going to be on their side of the field with the control of the clock, control of the ball, potentially a chance to score a touchdown or at least a field goal. And instead, Florida's going to go up 27-6. The knockout punch, perhaps? Was that the end? And no, of course, that was not the end, because this is Florida under the Napier era where you can almost guarantee the game is going to get close again. And we're going to have a returner here who currently has 4 career touchdown returns on kickoffs, which is insane if you think of how hard it is to even return a kickoff at all in modern college football, let alone have 4 for touchdowns, is about to get another one. And here we go, just kickoff right setup. Florida's been really good on special teams coverage. They've only had 1 return really go for any material yardage against them. But he is a quick, look, Brown is a quick dude, right? And he is going to explode through this gap before these guys even know what's happening. He's like, wow, he's already past me. That dude is motoring. And now at this point in time, Florida really should be fine, right? We should get Shamar in a recovery angle. We should get Boardingham in a recovery angle. We can trust Trey to at least just get him to the sideline. You should get Marshall on a big angle. You have 3 guys with angles, no blockers left. We should be able to limit the damage here and not let him score a touchdown. There goes Smack. Trey, admirable job here. He forces him all the way to the sideline. That should leave Boardingham and James and Marshall, right? This should be, at this point in time, freeze the film. This cannot be a touchdown. Now, Boardingham is going to get cut back. Somehow, look at the dancing. Look at the footwork here to stay in bounds. This is what makes you an elite returner. When you can dance like this on the sideline, now come back inside. Now, if you're Shamar, this is where you got to make this tackle. Shamar slows up for some reason here. You'd rather have him take this cutback lane at that point in time. The last thing you want is a straight line run because you know no one's there. Shamar is going to slow up. Wishes he didn't slow up here because, again, when this dude hits the gas pedal, I mean, he is taking off right there. Bam. He's taking off right out of the box, and then Shamar just can't get him. A 2-for-1 there with his speed. That's not what you want to see on film. It's a highlight here for Kentucky. I mean, that's good stuff, right? If you're Berrien Brown there, that is nice stuff. I mean, you are cooking. Then there's Jason Marshall again, not a guy that probably wants to tackle or is comfortable in this situation. He's like, please get back here, Bridges, and help me. Don't let this guy cook me. And then he just gets okey-doked, right? Little inside step here, and then little inside step back there. And Marshall's all turned around. Now we're off to the races again. Marshall makes a game effort to get back to him, touches him, lets him know, hey, I'm here. You are faster than me, but you didn't cook me with regards to speed. You didn't cook me on the move. And just like that, Kentucky kind of says, hey, you know what? This is not over. This is not over. We stole a touchdown from you. It's now 27-13. Kentucky's going to, basically get the ball again, rather, coming into the second half there, down 27-13, and they've got a chance for a 2-for-0 because Florida elects to take the air out of the ball on offense, setting up a big defensive series coming out of halftime where Kentucky has the ball. So a really significant kickoff return for a touchdown here for Kentucky, changing the complexion of this game in many ways. 3rd and 2, another short yardage, high leverage situation for Kentucky. Florida won almost every single one in the first half. What's going to happen here in the second half? Well, you're going to see another pulling play. Here comes the pullers around the edge. Now Kentucky's going to try to get tricky. Hey, Florida's been doing a pretty good job on those. They stopped us in the red zone. Let's try to get in here in the A-gap anyway. Let's have Florida overcommit and crash this here and actually just try to hit them in the A-gap. So we're going to seal this. You can see them seal this. Coming around this way, hoping that the linebacker scrapes over here and gives them a one-on-one in the hole. Unfortunately for them, Florida is reading their mail on this one as we are in there and waiting, right? We read their mail, A-gap shot right there, play recognition, run blitz into the gap, hang on for dear life right here. Hang on, get him down, pull him down. Come on, pup, take him down. And then Pup Howard just put a lot of good stuff on film. Good play recognition right through the A-gap. Good call right there by the defense on 3rd down and 2. And Florida gets another short yardage stop. What defense is this? It's been a completely different defense with regards to productivity and success from the first half of the season, bringing up a basically a kind of game determinant 4th down here for Kentucky. All right, 4th and 2, you're on your own side of the field. You're betting the farm, basically, at this point in time on this play. If Florida gets a stop, the game's probably over right here in all likelihood. If not, the game could still be over for Kentucky if they can't get a score here and put pressure on Florida. But this is kind of it right here. You got to go for this. You feel like Florida's been moving the ball on you. Your plan is not working. You're not comfortable perhaps stopping DJ the way you thought you might be. And what are you going to run, right? Are you going to run it right at the middle again and say, hey, you know what, we're a line of scrimmage team. We want to be physical? No, you're not. Smart call here by Kentucky. Well, you got to know when enough is enough. You have not been winning this battle all day long. I'm sure that chaps you up identity-wise. It's not who you want to be. You're a Mark Stoops team. But you're not winning line of scrimmage. And it's a good thing they didn't run the middle up or run the middle here because, again, they're cooked. That's not going to happen. But they cook Florida with a nice play design here. And Florida's on this. Here's Jason Marshall. We're good here. Devin Moore's pulling off to pull him up here. Castell theoretically is going to be here. But Shamar loses his man in the wash right here, right? Shamar loses his man in the wash right there. Pup recovers enough to make this a hard throw on 4th and 2. But Shamar's lost his man here. Look, a lot of stuff going on. Easy to have that happen. And then Kentucky picks up a really crucial 4th and 2 and gets an explosive play out of it. So I think one thing as a play caller on these 3rd and 2s and 4th and 2s, if you've got a good feel for the game, it's one of your best opportunities to create an explosive play. That's one of your best chances to do so. And I think play callers that aren't quite as good often are just barely getting the first downs. Good play callers recognize the expected value there to get something good. I think Kentucky's offense is anything but a dream of play calling. In fact, they're a struggling offense, but they got it right there. And you can see what happens when they do. Put a lot of pressure on the defense, run a complicated play for that situation, be a little more bold, trust your quarterback who's struggling. They hit pay dirt. They're still alive in this game after that 4th down and 2 conversion. All right, 3rd down and 8. We saw Sharif Denson get a pick on not the same kind of play, but a similar play last week. And I circled Gates up there because I'm going to show you what happens on this play that he didn't do that Denson did, which is to locate the receiver entering into your zone. He is just going to look at the quarterback and read his eyes. When I'd much prefer, like we talked about last time, taking a peek because you are the underneath defender. If you take a peek here, nothing horrible can happen to you. Nothing horrible can happen to you because the odds in the modern game of football that you're going to get this static drop correct just by looking at this quarterback is unlikely. You'd much rather ID where the depth of his break, has he broken yet, is he heading over here, where is he, than to not look at all. By not looking at all, yes, you're looking at a quarterback's eyes, but you're also drifting over here where you kind of should be. You're somewhere in this area, but you're not sure, is he breaking in, is he breaking out, what is happening, and that's going to allow you to kind of just, you're standing where you should be standing. That's a static zone drop. You're not at fault per se, but if you can ID this in break, which we saw Denson do last time, right? If he IDs this, then just like Denson right now, he actually shoots into this window, and a lot of times the quarterback has already decided, like you see Vandegrift doing here, that he's floating this way, route's going this way, I'm throwing this, and you get yourself a pick. Instead, he's not there in time to get to that window, and you can see that we almost get to it from here, and he's going to put a nice ball on the numbers there. It's a good throw from Brock in a game where he's had a lot of throws he wishes he had back. That's a chunk play, an explosive play there, passing wise on 3rd down and 8. And on this particular drive now, Kentucky in play. This game is no longer what it once was. 27-6 is now 27-13, and soon to be 27-20. Kentucky now in the red zone deciding to try a different tactic here in the second half. Let's bring the running quarterback in. Let's try not to do what we've been doing. We need an extra threat here. Florida's defense has been winning the battle. Let's try to go with the numbers in our favor by having a threat there at quarterback. Going to go with a simple sweep handoff here. Jason Marshall does a nice job to bump out and get leverage. He's just not quite quick enough there to stop this play, right? And he's going to dive here, and then there goes the right shoulder. Right shoulder injury to Jason Marshall. It doesn't look great. In a sling after this, didn't play any more snaps. Could be missing time here for Florida. Of course, we'll find out just a little bit more with the old questionable, doubtful, etc. tags. And Billy's never going to tell us the real injury, as coaches don't tell you that. I'll just say he's got an upper body injury or whatever. But we know for sure that he's out for the game, has a sling on. So that's not great for Florida. Kentucky converts a first down now. Again, now you've just lost your best corner, a guy who's put excellent stuff on film, and you got to play a whole half here, right? This is very much a football game versus a team that's beaten you 2 years in a row. So now we face a first and goal. Florida been good in the red zone. First and goal here in the red zone. Again, keeping the running quarterback in. Simple zone read. Good tackle right there. Good tackle by Devin Moore, right? Making a really nice tackle up there up top. It's a cornerback making a tackle. Rewind that for a second to give him some shine, right? This is a corner making this kind of tackle right there. That's a great tackle. That is good stuff. You want to praise that all day long. Get in the box, make a hit, make a play. You never know what's going to happen here on second and short. And then again, running quarterback in, basically the same exact play, right? That's the same play, basically run again right there. Let's go with it again. It looks promising, and it was promising. Touchdown Kentucky. Now we've got ourselves a game from 27-6 to 27-20, where Florida's possession was really a farcical possession where they just took 3 weak sauce running plays and punted the ball to Kentucky. Kentucky has now scored 14 unanswered points, and we've got ourselves a football game. We'll see what the defense can do for the rest of the game. 4th and 5 now, Kentucky driving into Florida territory after Florida scored on offense. So Florida putting pressure on Kentucky by scoring, putting them in a place they don't want to be, trying to come from behind. Again, Florida showing a different style here of pressure. Not as many on the line as we saw before, but a simulated pressure nonetheless. And it's going to get, again, to Brock Vandegrift. Is this going to speed him up way too much? Florida just sends 4. This is one reason why simulated pressures can work well. It's going to speed his clock up to where he immediately, I mean, this is absurd. Again, if you're grading this out as a Kentucky film watcher, you hate to see this from a guy who's a 5-star quarterback. Transfer in. I mean, you can't. It's 4th and 5. The game's in the line, Brock. You can't do this. In no world can you decide to make this throw right now. You haven't even had your routes in here happen yet, right? You haven't even gotten to your mesh route yet. This is your mesh route. This is where you want your eyes to be. You want to watch the middle of this, some soft eyes, see what happens, take your chances. You can't bail out of this right away and throw your check down. I mean, that is not what you can do. You just can't do that. That is quarterbacking suicide. And if you're a Gator, that's great news, right? And Bridges here into the zone, into the flow. And again, these guys are like, wait, are you kidding me? Like, we haven't even meshed yet. Like, what? How is this even happening? No way. And he's good. Like, his pocket's good right here. He's fine. Rushes this throw, but this is what you want to do, right? Good defense. You're putting an offense who's not comfortable passing the football in a 4th down and 5 game on the line situation. More often than not, you're going to get a mistake like this. That's what you want to do. Create your own opportunities by playing solid defense and then make the tackle. Don't get a penalty, make the tackle. Bridges does just that, and that should likely do it for Kentucky. Still game left, still stuff to go, but that's a big moment in the game on 4th down. Florida answers the call again in yet another high leverage play. 4th and 11 now. Again, if you're Florida, this is exactly where you want Kentucky. It's still 34-20. You've got Gates working down here, Gates working down here in this matchup. And Florida right now, again, looks like they're not going to give Gates help out here. You got press down here, and you got too high, right? So Florida looks like they're in man across the board. That's what Kentucky will be guessing here. Pick your best guy and go for 11 yards, right? It's exactly what you're going to get from Florida. You're going to get man defense walling off the inside right here. Let me wind this a second here. Walling off the inside here. We're going to bracket this here. So Gates is bracketing this with Castell. Safety help over top on number 2 in case he goes vertical here. And we're 1-on-1 down at the bottom, right? There's your matchup. So Gates is who they want to pick on. It's exactly where they're opening up. It's their first read. And right here, Gates is being taught correctly. Hey, you can let him go to the outside of you, right? You have inside help here. But if he goes to the outside of you, you better go through you, right? You're setting up to make sure that you have the leverage on him so that if he makes this predictable out route here, you have a head start and leverage on him to make this throw as hard as possible. Gates is not going to get a good turn here. Again, it's 4th and 11. 4th and 11. This is the line. Gates is going to actually open up both of his, look at his hips. He's going to basically open up completely towards the end zone. That he has lost contact with the route, right? This is not good. This is not where you want to be. This is way too much separation. You're facing totally the wrong way. Basically, he's lost control. So right now, if you're Vandegrift, you're thinking, this is great. It's 4th and 11, but I just need to put a good ball here, and I'm going to get a first down. And that is going to be true on this play, except with a very clean pocket and a late rusher here from Cameron James. He's going to deliver this ball poorly. Again, this is a first down. This is a first down all day, every day. This is not Gates wants this one back, right? You want that one back if you're Gates. Not good technique there. Definitely want to clean it up this week in practice during the bye week. Clean that technique up. You did that to yourself there. And you're going to get bailed out because this ball is not caught anyway. Take a look, right? Not caught anyway. Terrible pass there from Brock. Should be a first down and a conversion keeping Kentucky alive, but Kentucky their own worst enemy. Florida putting them in situations they're uncomfortable with. And Gates being close enough there to get to finish that play and make it look like in real time he did something really nice, right? And he's going to put the seatbelt on him right here. Seatbelt on, lock him up. But again, I think in reality on film, if I'm coaching, hey, Gates, you know what? If you really want to lock that guy, put the seatbelt on him, you got to do better than that. Because you didn't lock that guy, you dodged a bullet, be thankful. Let's save that celebration for when we lock him up. Meaning, let's just get that much better, right? Film review is going to make us better. Let's get better. Let's not allow a better team to complete that on us. Rather than just say, hey, I shut that guy down on 4th and 11. I'm good, coach. No, let's clean that up, right? There's better technique available. Let's get better at that. So Florida dodges a bullet there on 4th and 11. Again, put a team in places they don't want to be in. Good things are going to happen, especially in college football. But on film review, of course, we're always looking to get better and improve, and the details are what make a good football team a great football team. And they're also make a good football team, a high variance football team that wins games and loses games and are all over the place, right? You need to nail those details. With Jason Marshall hurt and Jakeem Jackson hurt, we have seen Cormani McClain in the game. He played before this, but now we're late in the game. It's garbage time. Florida's got this game well in hand. Backup quarterback in for Kentucky. Cormani in the football game, the 5-star who was at Colorado, much covered by Deion Sanders for lack of work ethic, other stuff, comes to Florida, presumably as a walk-on who has NIL money, has yet to see the fields, who knows what's going on with him. He's in the game. What are we going to see happen? Well, let's evaluate what the film says about Cormani at this stage because we haven't got to see him, right? Words are words, film is film. That's what we want to see, some actions here. Right away, technique-wise, opens up. He's going to go two-handed jam. And then switch to the offhand. Very nice. Check mark from me there. Let's get to that crossbody jam. Let's stay on top of the route, as we see Cormani do right here. Separate. He's on top. This is Cormani. This is the receiver. Offhand jam still on him. Love what I'm seeing so far. Again, as we go off the screen here, he's totally in control of that route. Perfect top-end control. And now we are throwing, as we said earlier, a quarterback's worst nightmare. It's not an out route here. It's even worse, as it's the far hash hitch route, which there's not a worse route in football than that. That is the worst route in football, and I guess that Kentucky doesn't like this guy if they're even making this a route that they're telling him to even remotely throw. They're like, hey, son, we don't really like you. We're going to throw you to the wolves out here because this is crazy. Don't throw that throw, right? I don't care. Just don't throw this throw. This is a dumb throw. Now, Cormani, this is textbook, right? I mean, this is great. He's on top of the route, which is why he's still this way on the receiver. But he's so on top of the route that when they both snap back to run this hitch, Cormani has a faster downhill leverage to the hitch. There it is. He's exploding better than the receiver. And then ball skills, look at this. He's playing corner, coming downhill, peaking the ball at the top, maintaining his balance. Check this out. Right there. Look at the position Cormani's in right here. He's at the ballet. I mean, look at this. Let me clear that out for you. Look at that. That's a corner right there. Are you kidding me? And then he's got the presence of mind to say, you know what? I've been down. I've been struggling. I've been sitting on the bench here. No one knows who I am anymore. People think I'm a clown. They don't think I'm serious. They don't think I try hard. Deion trolls me. I'm going to look back at you and let you know that maybe all those things are true or untrue. But you know what? I just took a pick six off your quarterback. I ran the hitch route for you, and now I'm going to jog him backwards and let you know that, like, hey, look, I still got some sauce. Maybe I'm still that dude. Maybe I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe coach thinks I need to do X, Y, Z. Maybe coach says to the media that I pick off practices every single day on the scout team. And hey, I'm good in man, but yet somehow I don't play, even though I'm picking off the first teamers on scout team every single day. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not there. But the guy played about 6 snaps in the game. 6 snaps, got pick 6. And technique-wise, that right there is as good as it gets. And yeah, it's against backups, but technique-wise, again, what you put on film technique-wise carries over. It's as good as it gets from a corner. Now, can he play zone? Can he do other stuff? I have no idea. I can only evaluate what I see right here. But I can tell you that on that one play that we saw right there, that is great stuff. Cormani does not get the penalty here. The whole team goes in the end zone and does get the penalty. Either way, great moment. And it looks like, obviously, his teammates are stoked for him. Look at that, right? Good vibes in Gainesville. It's been a minute. It's been a long minute since Florida's had these kind of vibes in the swamp here with Billy Napier, blowing out an opponent that had really put it on him in the past 2 years. So vibes are high. Florida goes up 48-20, and the sidelines pump, the stadium's pumped. It's a good Saturday night in the Ville, and that's going to put to bed this film review. I hope you enjoyed this defensive film review. Florida now begins the gauntlet of the rest of its schedule, and we'll see if Florida can carry over this defensive stalwartness, this newfound stalwartness for this season, and we'll see what happens with the absence of Jason Marshall as we enter into that. As always, I hope you enjoyed this content. Leave me any feedback, any things you want to see for improvement, things you enjoyed, let me know. I make this show for you guys and try to do the best I can to give you a good film review each and every week. All right, well, until after the Georgia game, I'll be on a little bye-week break. I'm James DiVirgilio for the Gator Nation Football Podcast. Go Gators.